2017. Well, this is it. This is it. 4 years at Cumberland Valley High School are now over. But this is probably one of our last moments together. So, as one graduating class, let's just take some time to look back on the last 4 years. Freshman year was rough. There were so many earth-shattering questions. What clubs do I want to join? What sports do I want to try out? What kind of people do I want to hang out with? The desperation and chaos of lunch on the first day of school. Trying to find the perfect table. It had to meet the criteria. No intimidating upperclassmen. No weird or scary kids. And just the right balance of the cool guys. Not to mention the embarrassing clothing choices, or the first painfully awkward homecoming. Sophomore year was better. We finally start to feel like we had high school figured out. We were a year older and smarter. We no longer wandered around school confused about where classrooms were. Although I still haven't found room 137, so anyone, we can go back to CV after this and we can find it together if anyone knows. Then, junior year. This rhythm we have begun to establish through sophomore year is thrown all out of whack. All this talk about the real world and our futures and driver's licenses and colleges and jobs and careers. We only got busy with it. It's annoying. I like it. I didn't say that. First half of senior year was possibly busier than ever before. Thoughts about college applications or our job prospects, anything about our life after high school crowded our minds, filling our thoughts and dreams, and even small talk. Once it all ended, it was a huge sigh of relief. Looking back, we survived so much over 4 years. The freezing mornings at the bus stop, countless snowstorms, but even worse, the dreaded makeup days. Mr. Brenneman's chemistry class, Ebola, we survived Ebola, Zika virus too, all-nighters at mini-thon. The embarrassment of getting your phone taken away when you swear, was just checking the time for the 20th time the class period. The tragedy of failed relationships or falling outs with friends, the loss of a family member, or even a beloved pet. Divorces, moves, diagnoses. There are moments when everything kept piling on, one on top of another, and we thought for certain that we couldn't go on any further. But 4 years later, we're all here together. Now looking back, each of these experiences made us infinitely better. Honestly, this is the only time in our lives when we can grow so much over just 4 years. We grew from just kids who were concerned about play dates and sleepovers and whether our crush likes us back, to basically adults, at least legally speaking. But I guess most of us still care about whether our crush likes us back. We were reluctant and anxious in searching for our identities, the people we could become. There were a million different people, but in the end, we came to make peace with ourselves and the people we became. Maybe it wasn't an intentional process. Maybe life just carried us along. Now we find ourselves smushed together in Giant Center on this June Saturday. We also came face to face with the realities of the world in ways we never imagined. We got our first paychecks, paid our first taxes, became active members of the economy, a word that used to just be vocab from a textbook. We were hired to dream jobs, walked out on bad jobs, and were fired from some others too. We voted in our first elections, attended rallies, marched in protests, exercising the civic duty that used to just be a discussion subject in social studies class. But our views on these very realities sometimes created divisions, disagreements, differences, clashing against friends, classmates, significant others, or even family members. But through this, we learn to at least try to embrace these differences, and maybe we're still learning. We made it this far, overcoming each and every obstacle that, in that moment, felt insurmountable. So let's take a moment to recognize those who stood by us, supported us, guided us through all these times. First, a round of applause for all our parents and family members. Next, for our wonderful faculty and administrators. I would also like to personally thank each and every one of my teachers throughout my time at Cumberland Valley, but I'll name just a few. Mrs. Heisler, who was like a second mother to me and so many other students. Mrs. Pickering, who supported my dreams and for her love of speech and debate. Mrs. Ziegler, for her fortitude and kind-heartedness and her passion for Chinese culture. Mrs. Miller, who put up with me for 4 very long years, and who I always trusted for the best advice. Mrs. Dominic, for being such a supportive mentor, for even this speech itself, and for her love for English and literature. Mr. Brenneman, who I'll always remember as one of the first teachers in the building every morning, one of the last teachers to leave each day. Ms. Griebel, for being a great friend and mentor, someone who I could always visit and talk to. Mr. Stanley, who I always thought was mad at me. all the time. But he was truly an entertaining teacher and advisor. Mrs. Rothhauser, for being an exceptionally kind-hearted and extremely patient teacher. Also, many thanks for making me come in after my last day of school to turn in my English book. Mr. Mashinsky, for being an encouraging and thoughtful teacher who took all his students under his wing. Ms. Beaver, whose passion and fire for teaching and current events truly inspired me. Mr. Landis, Mrs. Marshall, Mrs. Clements, and all the guidance office for answering every nitty-gritty question I ever had. Last but not least, Mrs. Baumgartner, Mr. Martin, Mr. Robinson, and Dr. Woodham, and all the administrative staff for their unique open-mindedness and kindred spirits throughout 4 years, making Cumberland Valley the amazing community it is today. Okay, so this is the part where I'm supposed to talk about something inspirational, stuff that'll carry us on. So, I asked my wise and experienced friends for some help. Some of the best advice I got. I'll just give you the highlights. Parts of high school were kind of stressful. To be honest, I lost more than just a few hairs. This is not Mr. Robinson's. Stay strong, because parts of life are going to stink like the freshman wing bathrooms. We spent all of high school waiting for graduation. And then we'll spend all of our lives after looking back on our high school days. The final one. The most important thing in life is deciding what the most important thing in life is. But in all seriousness, which I can't believe I just said that, but I truly believe that life is a gift. The journey may not be smooth at times, but we owe it to the world. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to everyone who struggled and fought to make this moment possible. I'm sure each of us has at least one person that immediately comes to mind. As for me, I owe it to my grandmother, who was orphaned by the Korean War at age 14, but still was determined to survive, raise 6 children, including my mother. My mother, growing up in a war-torn, devastating poverty in South Korea, had to work in a factory after elementary school. But she never gave up hope, and though she really couldn't speak English at all, fought her way through law school in New York City. And I can't thank her enough for that.